Here is a quick example of the elements that we are going to be making. Today we're going to just be making the bowl and the plate. The mug and the bottle I will save for another tutorial. However, hopefully after you've developed these skills with the bowl and plate, you'll have enough confidence to actually make these ones on your own, especially the bottle. I'll say that one might just be a little bit easier. But to get started, I'm going to go ahead and go into the viewport shading mode. And I am going to go ahead and add a cylinder. You probably have the cube by default. Go ahead and delete it. And remember to add, it's Shift A for add, a new mesh, and it's going to be a cylinder. Now yours by default will probably be 32. An important thing to note is, especially if you're taking my video game design class, you'll want to make as few faces as possible. Essentially, we want low poly count and as little as we think we can get away with. If we go too high with our number of faces, then it's going to slow down our renderer and things just aren't going to work very well. So keep it low. I'm only going to do 16. I could probably get away with less, but 16 is pretty decent. So, all right, I have this cylinder, and first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to press 1 so that I'm looking at it from the front view. And I'm going to press S for scale, and then Z to scale it in the Z axis, and I'm going to squash it down until it's about the size of a coaster. Next, this element is something that you may not know, you will not notice when we first start, but it's going to be very important when we add bevels or anything later. If I want to do anything, I want it to do it to scale, so I need to apply this scale transformation. To do that, press Control A for apply, and I'm applying the rotation and scale. All right, next, I'm going to go ahead and start doing some basic sculpting. So I'm going to switch over into edit mode. The easier way to get into edit mode is to press Tab. That just swaps me between object and edit. And I'm going to do that from now on, but edit mode is also up there. And I'm going to select this top face. I'm going to press 1 again so that I'm looking at it from the front. And I'm going to press E for extrude. I'm going to go up a little ways, not too far. And then I'm going to press S for scale and go way, way out. You'll see what I'm doing very soon, but this is the basic start for sculpting and something that you're actually going to do quite a bit. But I'm going to press E again to go up a little more. And then I'm going to press S for scale and not go out as far on this one. And I'm going to press E for extrude one more time. I think you can probably immediately see this is starting to look a lot more like a bowl than it did previously. Awesome. All right, so I have my geometrically round shape. I just want to do the inside of the bowl next. So to do that, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to inset that top face. So I'm going to press I for inset. And I'm going to go in just a little ways, really as thick as you want the bowl to be. I'll make it pretty substantial, so I'm going to go about there. And then I'm going to press E for extrude and go down. The problem is, since this is shaded, you're not going to actually see how deep you're going. So to make that much easier, I'm going to go up here and toggle the X-ray mode. Alt-Z does the exact same thing. Now if I press E for extrude and I go down, you can see exactly how far you're going. I'm going to go to roughly the same distance. Please don't get hung up on making things perfect. Blender is a modeling software. It's not for perfect like geometry or for engineering. We're just trying to make things look good. And I'm going to go down a third time, really essentially the same 3, and press S and go in. And I'm going to get out of X-ray mode, but there you can see I've got the inside and outside of my bowl. All right, next, right now the bowl is very geometric, so I'm going to round it a little bit, especially on these edges, and I'm going to round it on the inside as well. To do that, I'm going to add bevels. I'm going to select the edge, and I'm going to select this edge, this one, and this one. To do that, go ahead and press Alt and click. And then I'm going to hold Shift, press Alt, and click this one. And to get this one too. In order to select more things, I need to hold Shift, but Alt to get the edge loop, and click that one as well. Excellent. Now next, to add a bevel, there are, well, bevel's so common that there's a hotkey for it. It's Control B for bevel. And after you bevel, you go to the right. Yours by default will probably only have one bevel. To add more, you're just going to scroll up on your scroll wheel. And again, remember, it's as few as I think I can get away with. I honestly don't think I need any more than those 3. I could probably even get away with 2, but 3 is just fine. Awesome. And you can see it did it on the inside as well, which is good. That's exactly what I want. And then next, I'm going to bevel the top edges. And the reason why I did those separate is because I'm going to make that bevel less extreme. So I'm going to press Alt and click this edge, Shift Alt, click this one, and while I'm at it, I may as well add, actually, you know what, I'll just do those 2. Let me press Control B and go a little ways. There we go, you can see nice and round. And then finally, I'm going to do these 2 edges. Shift Alt, click, and then Control B for bevel. And nice and round. All right, excellent. Now, the next thing I'm going to do, usually I save this for the end, but because I want to smooth this out quite a bit, I'm going to add materials now because of how everything's going to render. So adding my materials, first thing I want to do is I want to go into the material preview. You notice my current material is sort of this white color. That's just the default. But I'm going to add a new material. To do that, you're probably in Object View. I'm going to click on this property right here, Material Properties. And then I'm going to press New. And base color, I kind of really liked that red. So I'm going to make it red. And right now it's very matte. To make it glossy, I'm just going to tone down the roughness like crazy. If I press Tab to go into Object View, it looks even better. Still very geometric, but we will fix that soon. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make the inside a different color. So to do that, I'm going to press the plus button to add another material. This one, I'm going to make a white. Also very rough. And then I'm going to go ahead and press Alt. Oh, I'm going to go and face select this time. I'm going to press Alt, and I'm going to get this edge. And then I'm going to, and this is actually, I think, very important to note. If I press Alt and click this edge right here, it's going to get this entire face loop. If I end up too high, like right over here, it's going to get this one. It's going to get whatever is closest. So get that edge right there. And I'm going to press Shift Alt to get each of these as well. I'll rotate, Shift Alt, whoops, and get the bottom as well. Perfect. Now to make this white in a different color than the rest of the bowl, I'm going to press on white and click Assign. Excellent. All right, we're looking pretty good. Obviously, it's way more geometric than we want, so to fix that, we're going to do 2 things. First one we're going to do is we will right-click and change it from our regular shade to Shade Smooth. Obviously, it looks way, way better, but if by any chance it still doesn't look good enough for you, what we're going to do is we are going to add a subdivision. There's 2 ways to add it. One is right here in our modifiers, but an easier way is just press Control 3. That adds the subdivision set, and I can have as many levels as I want. Honestly, I think 3 looks perfect, but if by chance like you still see edges, you can add that or go up just a little bit. Two still seems totally fine to me, but I'll just keep it at 3. Awesome. All right, there is my bowl. The final thing I said that we were going to make is the plate. So to make the plate, this is going to seem like cheating, but honestly, a student mentioned it and I thought it made a whole lot of sense. He said, what is a plate but like a bowl that's essentially just squashed down and stretched out? So that's actually exactly what we're going to do. I'm going to take my bowl and I'm going to duplicate it. To duplicate it, I can press Shift D for duplicate, and that made a second bowl. I'll press X to move in the X-axis. And then I'm going to look at it from a front view, and I'm going to press S for scale, and then Z for the Z-axis, and squash it down like crazy. There it is. If I want, I can press S to make it a little bit bigger. And I can even squash it more if I'd like, but that's about it. There we go. We have a bowl and a plate nicely rendered. And remember, everything can be changed. Also, remember, like we can just delete and redo anything we want. But hopefully this was informative. It was in my opinion, like a really good start for modeling for me, and just a decent entry level. But thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Have a great rest of your day.